what do you got planned? What's your 3 to 5? What's your 10-year plan? Like, what do you got in the horizon?
Thank you so much for asking. You know, through COVID, I've had a lot of time to kind of take a step back and reflect upon where I put my energy and time. And so through COVID, one of my big accomplishments was starting my foundation, my 501c3, and getting accepted by the you know, as a legal foundation. You know, for 15 years, we've been doing it full cowboy style and, you know, just pulling kids together in random communities and trying to collaborate with different schools and programs to get kids to the competition and teach them how to swim and get other fellow competitors and friends to donate their time to, you know, get them out surfing and stand-up paddling as a vessel to introduce them to ocean ecology. You know, so that's one of my biggest accomplishments through COVID was getting my 501c3 for our foundation, which used to be called the InZane Supergroms, but I want it to be outside of myself more and less selfish. And now it's called the Kahakukahi Supergroms. So we're really excited to bring that to the world. And on my travels for competition and as well here at home, we're going to have consistent programs now introducing children to ocean sport and ocean ecology so that they could be the next generation of champions and ocean guardians that we need today. So, you know, that's a big part of my 3-year goal is just kind of setting the official roots down for this, you know, and getting our ocean education center built and being able to set our relationships with our different programs that are already existing for, you know, everything from reforestation to, you know, plastic cleanups and, you know, want to be able to just give the kids similar opportunities that I had, you know, growing up. And I realized that not everyone has that fortunate opportunity. So I like to think of everything I do in 2 different categories. It's innovate and inspire, right? And with one, there's no hole. Without one, there's no hole. And so that's my inspiration that I'm putting my effort into, is getting my foundation just really set and get a strong, consistent team going where we could build this out to be something great for our community. And, you know, I want to exceed the 4,000 or 5,000 kids we've already taught. I want to be doing, you know, interacting with 5,000 kids a year. And so it would be really cool to grow that. Now, innovation side of my sport, right now we have the new sport of wing foiling and hydrofoiling just booming. And in many ways...
What's that?
What's that?
What's wind foiling?
Exactly. Yeah. So just as my parents were pioneers in a new sport and got to be innovators of something new and exciting, you know, I feel like in many ways I've got to bring that full circle early on with the sport of stand-up paddling. You know, I've competed on the world tour for windsurf, stand-up paddle, big wave surf, ocean decathlon events. And, you know, I really am looking forward for wing foiling to be accepted into the Olympics. I think there's a very good chance. You know, early on when stand-up paddling first came into the world, you know, I was young and I was at the forefront and kind of in many ways a pioneer of that sport. And now again, we have hydrofoil surfing and wing foiling coming about. And if you guys are followers of the America's Cup, the world's most famous sailing event, all of these catamarans are now flying. They're on hydrofoils. If you watch the Olympic Games for windsurfing and kitesurfing, all of these crafts are now hydrofoiling. The windsurfers and the kitesurf hydrofoil. Now, what the advantage of that does is it gives us more competitive room for light wind. Okay, so a windsurfer with a hydrofoil can now start the competition from, you know, 6 to 10 knots is the minimum wind standard, right? And so now if you have a competition as big as the Olympics set for this certain day, you know, it's a little more guarantee that we could get some good high-speed action, even if the conditions aren't perfect. And so that's what hydrofoiling is really exciting about, is like before, you know, I've done races that are 150 miles on a stand-up paddleboard. Now I could see an endurance race with the hydrofoil being, you know, maybe 1,000 miles, because we're going that much faster. We're going with much more efficiency, and we're moving through the water just super efficient. You know, it's amazing. And with that, you know, if you look at the fun factor of it, the playground is just that much bigger. You know, totally. If you're a surfer, you know, sometimes it feels like a limited resource. You're sitting in a little area and there's all these other surfers and everyone was waiting for that wave to come in. Well, with the hydrofoil, you don't even need to be riding places that are even looked at as a surf place. You just need a little rolling swell that's barely breaking, and you could be doing full G-force high-speed turns and having a blast.
Surfers are innovative. I mean, I don't ask me why, it's a long story, but I own a tarp business for decades. And we sell large tarps for tarp surfing. Where, you know, get on a skateboard and tarp surfing, and it's like kids in the Midwest, they don't have the ocean. You know, they're like, screw it, let's get a tarp and just do some tarp surfing on our boards. And it's like that's surfers and skateboarders. That's how it's all steeped in innovating and saying, look, what else can we do? What's next? Let's do something different. What other kind of trick can we do? It's always innovating.
And you know.